Episode 50. Welcome back, boys. Can't believe we've made it this far, all the way to, the half-century mark, our 50th episode. It's been a long and fun road so far, and can't wait till we get to episode 500, right? I mean,
wow.
It feels, it's crazy when you look at the arc of our podcast. It started, I think, pretty much just about a year ago, and started off just me and Kevin. We brought on our friend Nick for a couple episodes, and then we kind of went back to me and Kev, and then Connor's been here, and I think this is what we're going to roll with for the long haul. And I just want to say thank you to both of you guys for showing up here every week with me, and happy episode 50.
Hey. I haven't been here for all 50, but
no, a good amount of them.
50 with you.
You were there early on.
Yeah, you were there early too, though. You're reoccurring
guest.
Yeah, I
feel then we were going to do a rumor mill, and then we just said let's just make this permanent. So,
and then if one of us was sick, you would hop in for a.
Yeah, you were like
an alternate background from the start.
Yeah, no, for sure,
we could do that.
Sure. We had a group chat from the start. We were all. I mean, it's just it's been a great ride. And I'm just crazy to see 50.
Are you ready, Kevin?
Most podcasts don't make it to 20 episodes. I saw stats like 80% of podcasts fail by like episode 19. So,
and speaking of stats, for episode number 50, Kevin.
Don't
Give me a number 50, Kevin.
Don't do it. I wasn't.
That's a tough one. I know you weren't prepared.
Oh my God, there is a future Hall of Fame goaltender out of the Chicago, Illinois Blackhawks who wore the number 50.
Bro, I'm not.
Come on, that's a layup.
No, I'm not hockey like that. I will say
Corey Crawford.
Corey Crawford. Corey Crawford.
That
guy. That guy was pretty good. He did some things. It's crazy, I actually want to touch on them. I guess we'll get more of the West, but I was thinking the other day and just like hearing that, Kane's hurt and he might not want to be traded for the chance to play with Bedard. And I just thought, like, I'm so thankful that the Bruins didn't have this crazy downtime after their original first runs. It's like you got to give some credit to the Bruins organization for not just fucking up like Chicago did. And I know we say a lot less swears in the pods now.
You know who you have to thank?
Peter Chiarelli.
Nope. Don Sweeney was in charge of the retool.
No, 100%. He did a good job. I mean, he traded Lucic at the right time. He traded Dougie Hamilton at the right time. He got Martin Jones, traded that guy right away at the right time. And he did, like, the thing is we give Sweeney so much shit, but like he drafted McAvoy. He developed Pasternak. He drafted a guy like Trent Frederick, who's being an impact player in your team. He traded for Taylor Hall and Hampus Lindholm. That was the retool. That right there was it. And it's ridiculous. And then again, he's kept a good enough relationship with a guy like Patrice Bergeron and David Krejci that they're playing for 1/4 of what they're worth. Let's just kick it right into it. It's time to get that dirty water. We were already pretty much doing it, so we had to just jump in. But so here's my next question for you. The biggest thing we give Don shit for, right, is the 2015 draft.
Absolutely.
Now that we've seen Jake break out and be clearly a top 10 player from that draft, and we know Zaboral is an NHL talent, Shenishin was a miss. How much shit do you guys still give Don for that draft on a scale of 1 to 10? If we were at a 10 last year, where are you at now?
Let me ask you this. Let me kick it back to you. I'm going to use a different sport analogy. If you're hitting over 300 in the MLB, are you good or are you bad?
If you do it your whole career, you're looking at possibly a Hall of Fame. If you have a couple World Series in there.
So here's what we're going to do. Since I have some extra time tomorrow, I'm going to go through the draft.
Oh, he's not a bad drafter. He's not a bad drafter at all.
And I'm going to list all the draft picks, and we're going to say a whiff or not, and we'll give his batting average. I think that would be something fun to do.
It's way better than people think. I've looked at this before, and then it gets me the next thing. And this is our next topic on the sheet, and then I'll let you guys go. Pavel Zacha extension. How do we feel about it? Because Don Sweeney has pretty much only had good signings. And I know we shit on him for Foligno. No, but even Nosek, they play huge roles on this team. They do. Nick Foligno, overpaid for what he does? Yes. Nick Foligno, a huge impact player on this team? Yes.
So you're telling me he's only going to go pound his fucking face in?
So that was a good hot mic. What a hot mic. That was a hell of a hot mic. I was at work today, and people were like, "You see this video of Nick Foligno?" I'm like, "Yeah, I did. I did see Foligno."
Hey,
Yeah.
It's
But how do
definitely
you guys
hard
feel about the Zaka extension? Who wants to start it?
Go ahead, Kevin.
Connor. I can go, yeah. I like it. It also helps that as soon as he signs it, comes out, gets 2 goals, 3 points in that win over Philly. So the thing is, like, I feel like Zaka still hasn't even hit his potential. Like, that's the crazy thing about it. Like, Pavel Zaka can legit be a 15, 20 goal scorer. He really hasn't had to do it on this team. He hasn't needed to go out there and score. But it's everything else that you see, all his secondary tangibles, like his motor, his defense, everything, his versatility. He's doing it all for this team that may not show up in the stat sheet, but he's there. He's making a presence felt. And these veteran guys, they love it. So I'm all about it. Bring him in. And I think it's going to help Pasternak want to stay here too. So I'm all for it. Good job, Don.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are some pros and cons to the signing. I think a big pro is obviously signing him. You're keeping him next year. He's probably going to play on the top line, assuming nobody comes back.
One or two of them.
One or two. He's going to play with top talent, and I think
he can.
I think he can. I mean, it's obvious. He plays on, what I like to call the Chex Mix line. But
right after
that also is my
right. Team, and we're playing this week, and I'm beating you.
I haven't even looked at it yet this week, so I haven't changed my lineup. You're welcome.
Oh, I wonder why you're winning, dude.
I mean, I'm in first. I'm 11-3. I beat everyone, but
yeah, I've only beaten you once. Anyway, so I think that you and I have previously had this discussion where we equal out every $1 million to about 10 points. Correct. In the league. So with this extension, you're expecting him to get somewhere between 45 and 50 points a year.
He's going to do it this year.
I think he can definitely do better than that when he plays on a line with top talent.
Yeah.
So with the cap going up in the future, I think this deal looks good. The con that I'm going to take out of this is, to me anyway, I think it puts the writing on the wall for what we're going to see out of Don Sweeney. And I think that this kind of puts the Bo Horvat question out of question at this point.
Yeah, it's hard to – I was talking to my dad about that today, and I was like, I don't know if Horvat's still a possibility with him being at this number. Because
if it's a rental.
We could be wrong, but could it still happen? Yes. But major moves would have to be made to get you there.
Yes.
And I don't think you're making major locker room shocking moves to a team that's playing this good. Like last year, yeah, I'd be all for it, but you're just not going to do that.
And you wouldn't have to necessarily make those like huge shocking moves now. Like you could add him as a rental in moving some bodies out, like a Craig Smith and a Mike Riley, who aren't factoring into the lineup on a daily basis. But in the off season, you're going to have to trade somebody in the ilk of Jake DeBrusk, Brandon Carlo, or Matt Grzelcyk.
Yeah, it's like I could see Carlo and Grzelcyk. I don't see DeBrusk. DeBrusk is just his value is so high at his amount of money.
DeBrusk had $4 million.
That's why you would trade him, in my opinion.
Yeah, because
if you're bringing a top 6 body in,
to me, he's got it. He's worth a lot right now, and I think he's going to be. I see DeBrusk just still going up, but then again, like you need centers, so it's going to be really interesting. I think as Bruins fans, we need to realize that we need to really appreciate this season we're getting right now. And we need to be okay with a down year or two before they get back, because what more can you ask for than what we have right now?
Yeah.
Like it's tough. It's like if we have a couple down years because we go all in for this season, I'm really okay with that.
Yeah. And for me, like this summer screams the Dougie Hamilton and Milan Lucic trade.
It will be.
We're definitely going to see something.
Unless
they win
Patrice and Krejci say, hey, we're coming back again. We'll do it for cheaper. And then it's like, okay, let's ride.
They have to move bodies.
They do. But it's like, okay, let's ride.
So because this Pavel Zaka extension made it worse for this offseason.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So I remember when I was looking at it a few weeks back, I'd written an article and I for the life of me can't remember what it was called or what the whole premise was. But it was generally about the cap space and Don Sweeney having next year. And the bonus overages are just going to completely gut the team.
Yeah, it's
that
like
on top
2.5
of
million.
no, it's 4.5 million.
4.5, yeah.
Yeah. That's more than Jake DeBrusk is making on this team. That's going to count against your cap next year because you're in LTIR currently, unless you can make some changes now. I don't see it happening quick enough. Like if they want to impact significantly, they need to make a move within the next 2 weeks, not wait until the deadline.
Which it does seem like this is as quiet. Like last year at this time, we were firing out rumors. We see, I think all three of us see some stuff, but nothing that's that tangible, nothing that's that
nothing worth writing home about.
No, like it's quiet, and I think it's just a ringing endorsement that the cap needs to go up because as the NHL is growing in viewership, which it is, the NHL is having its best season it's had, and I think hockey's as popular as it's ever been. There's so many people, I think, even in our own lives, who are non-conventional hockey fans, who are now hockey fans, and that's great. But the money has to follow it too, because trades
Cam and Don need to go knock on the Jacobs door and say, "Hey, you need to go tell Gary."
Yeah, I mean, he's like the most powerful owner. Like, so
but he's also one of the cheapest.
We say that, and everyone says it, but the Bruins are at the cap almost every year. The rink is beautiful. They've upgraded it 100 times. There's bars now. There's restaurants. There's hotels. There's everything. Everyone says it and says it and says it. Is he really though? For the last decade, he's given us a nice place to watch games and a great product on the ice. I think it's kind of bullshit.
I guess it's kind of the same argument as Don Sweeney and, his drafting. Like you've got a lot of wins and you've got losses. Like traditionally the Jacobs family has been very against raising the cap or having no cap, etc. They want that very low and regulated because they make more money. Sure. Yeah. Has he done all these, nice things as far as arena upgrades or whatever? He's done some, but you got rid of the yellow seats that were spacier, pissed everybody off with the new seats, and
they're not that bad. Kevin can speak to it more than I can. I fit just pleasantly in the seats.
I'm a big guy. It's tight sometimes, man.
Not as tight as Fenway.
Yeah, Fenway was a little tight.
Fenway.
That's where we sit in the loge now. Little spaces in the loge.
Yeah, the loge.
I haven't been to the balconies because they changed the balconies. So
I
don't know if I want to go up there.
The loge does have more space. We've learned that. We like it better down there.
And they have lobster rolls.
The food's better too.
Lobster really, but
food's better.
Wait, at the Garden or at Fenway?
At the Garden.
The Garden's food is so good now.
What?
Dude, oh my god, that's why. Have you been since they redid everything?
On the loge level,
I have not been to Boston since 2015.
Yeah, no, the rink's completely different. Like you can go. They have there's a little smokehouse. It's like $15. You get pulled chicken, mac and cheese, a salad, cornbread, and a soda.
Dude,
it's not. There's brisket.
Yeah,
food's way better.
You have the huge bar if you want mixed drinks, but then if you want beer, you legit go in, you walk out,
just take it,
and it just automatically just goes.
It just charges your Amazon account.
Yeah,
anything or you can get chips, you can get popcorn, anything in there.
Everything, just walk in, grab what you want, walk out, and just automatically charges you.
Yeah, it's like an Amazon Pay or whatever. The whole the Garden's pretty cool now. To me, it's one of the best rinks. It's cool.
Pretty sick.
Yeah.
So the ones that I've been to since I moved out here, I went to the last year at the Joe Louis Arena.
That was shitty but nostalgic.
It was shitty but nostalgic, and I'll send it to you guys later, but I actually have a really cool picture. Mike Green was on the team at the time, and obviously my last name being Green, my uncle was with me, and he bought one of his jerseys, and I have a really dope picture that came out really well of him standing kind of in front of me in the loge, looking over the ice, and I zoomed way out, so you see Joe Louis Arena in the background over the top of him, and then him with the jersey. But anyway, I went to the Joes last year. I went to the first year at the Little Caesars Arena the next season. That arena is off the hook.
Yeah. No,
they have lighting that's in the top, in the roof. So when they did the national anthem, the entire roof lit up.
That's cool.
Like the flag, and the seats are like this when you walk down into the bowl. It's super steep. But I was in row 10.
There are steep ranks.
And it was beautiful. And to top it all off, you can go and get some food. And there's Little Caesars pizzas.
That's not
That's
shitty. We can get Sal's pizza.
We have Sal, dude. Come on.
But that's so dope.
Little Caesars pizza.
That's
a terrible flex.
Little
Caesars pizza.
I can leave the game and go to Regina's.
Yeah, Little Caesars pizza is dog food.
And I'm telling you, it's like full size.
Yeah, you get that at the Garden.
Dude, you ever seen Sal's? It's like.
No, I haven't. I haven't been there since 2000.
The one slice is the size of your leg.
The whole length of my arm, dude. It's good. Like,
let's get. All right, we gotta get to the next topic.
St. Louis is a trash hole.
Yeah, everyone.
No one's gonna argue that. Like, come on.
The Toronto Maple Leafs win. We got we had some playoff hockey. It was great to watch. Bruins Leafs on last Saturday night. Connor,
watch it.
I know Connor had cable issues with that one. Kev, how did you feel about that game?
I liked it.
You liked it?
I liked it. It was good. You know,
it was playoff hockey. Both teams showed up to play. The Stars both showed up.
It was.
To play.
It got a little chippy too.
It did. Great fight, Foligno.
What?
Do you remember the game?
Was it Friday?
No, it was Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh, you were just watching it, weren't you? I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, he was out having some tasty adult beverages watching the hockey game.
Oh, yeah.
I was at home on my couch. The
that was a kind of wild night.
I'll talk about the game then. One of the best parts, Foligno and Simmons fought for like a whole minute. They let them go. That was great. They just let those two vets fight, and they were throwing haymakers at each other.
I did see that video on Twitter.
Oh, they were just going, trying to kill each other. Then ceremonial little, nice to see you, buddy, at the bat. Like, great fight after throwing haymakers, trying to murder each other at the end. It's like, they're ex-teammates.
Foligno's turning into a little rat, huh?
Yeah, I love it. Like, I love what Nick Foligno brings to this team. I really do. Bruins Leafs playoff game type atmosphere, and just like what'll happen if the Bruins do play in the playoffs, the Bruins won. The Leafs are a very good team. The Leafs scare me as much as any team just because of how high octane their offense is. Their defense will have a lot of trouble playing any of the other teams in the East, though, in the playoffs. I don't think Matt Murray is it, and I don't think their defense can handle Tampa, Boston. I don't know that they can handle – I think it's tough. I don't know that they can handle anyone out west if they were to ever make it to the Cup right now with the build they have. They're just not heavy enough. So it's like Carolina is their best possible matchup for them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I think they would be a battle, but the Rangers I think would be tough against them. Jersey
and the goaltending in Toronto still is a huge question mark.
Yeah, but
I don't care what anybody says.
Oh, it is.
It's a huge question mark.
I think that if Toronto in the playoffs, like let's say they got through Tampa in the first round, if they had to end up playing the Rangers, Washington, the Bruins, or Pittsburgh, it'll be a house of horrors for them because those older veteran teams are just going to beat the bag out of them. And that's where it's still tough. Their offense scares me, though. Like they can just score, but it's hard to win that way. It really is. I mean, I don't even know. They have 147 goals for. It's actually like fifth in the East, so it's really not that great. At the same time, so I don't know. Matthews is hurt, which hurts them, obviously, but I guess we don't need to get any deeper into them. David Krejci, congrats, Krejci, right? I mean, you guys want to say anything for Krejci? Krejci hit 1K.
In style.
In style, he did. He came out and just played a Krejci game, 3 apples.
2 games in a row. Got dinged by having to work, and I couldn't watch the game.
Yeah, that does suck. Yeah. I mean, yesterday was 1 o'clock, so I think that happened to a lot of people. The Krejci, to me, he's he's definitely the most underrated Bruin of our generation of Bruins. They don't win the Cup in 2011, and they don't go back to either of the 2 last Cups. And any shadow of a doubt of Krejci's impact has to be erased from your head for seeing last year's Bruins product to this year's Bruins product. It just, there's no question.
Come on, kid. Eric Holla.
Eric Holla. Dude, they're fucking, I love, looking at, when you see the Devils fans who are thank you, Zaka, when, Holla has a 3rd assist. I know that's not even a score. That's kept. But, Holla's better. What are we talking about? Such a joke. And Holla was
Jersey didn't know what to do with him.
No, they didn't understand because they want him to be a 30 goal scorer. And it's just, that's not him. Sorry. Has an elite shot.
This trade, Don Sweeney, Fleece.
Same as Hall.
Well, he had help by Taylor Hall in that one.
Yeah.
That's unfair.
Even, I mean,
Dude, the Lindholm
trade. First and Vakanainen.
Plus 2 second-round picks.
And dumping John Moore's contract. Like,
Yeah,
it
the
was a
second's for
first,
John Moore.
Vakanainen, second.
Yeah, but the 2 seconds I consider John Moore. That was equal.
For $2.75 million?
Yeah, pretty much. That was the going rate last year. I wonder, do you think that prices are going to be super steep because there's not much movement pre, or do you think they're going to be super low because there's no?
Jake, I hit the bet right now.
You're playing
super low.
You want to say it right now? We'll give a play of the day quick. We'll give a quick play of the day. Let me hit the button. I'll hit the button. We'll bring up gambling.
Hit the button.
Wasn't in the plan, but Kev and I have been talking about a little play of the day for a bit. I guess you're not going to have enough time to even get this in, but at least we'll get to say either we had a winner or a loser. Kev, what's your play?
Winnipeg Jets parlayed with the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Buffalo Sabres.
Did you do a unit, half a unit? What'd you go with?
Full unit, baby.
Full unit. I don't think I'm doing that. I'm going to do half a unit, but I will drop that down too. And back to Dirty Water. Ding, 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 ding. Next 10 games. Last part of Dirty Water here. Next 10 games. Bruins have 2 home, 8 on the road. Connor, do you think that bodes well for him or bad for him? What do you think it does for this team?
Well, there's 2 sides to the coin, but typically what you've seen this year is pretty much every team who's gone on an extended road trip has absolutely killed it. So all that bonding time, always going to be a positive.
Especially in the dog days of the season like this. Get out on the road, go experience some cities, go have fun. I don't know if you guys watched Behind the Bee, but they gave Jake the puck after the Winter Classic, and then Bergie's like, now let's get to LA, and they all started yelling. It's like the cities are fun, so I think they enjoy that. Kev, how do you feel about it? It was your topic. Kevin.
And
it's been like 2 pods. Kevin was muted and talking.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely good. It's gonna be a good test.
Need a blooper reel
because you have some good matchups. Like you're playing the Rangers, Tampa, Florida, Carolina, Toronto, Dallas, Nashville. Like
the Islanders play the Islanders tomorrow.
Yeah,
back to back. New York back to back.
You got Florida back to back, and then to Carolina. I think.
Oh, it's going to be a tough little stretch. They're going to lose some games. I think they're going to lose some games in there.
Once again, you can't win all 82.
Bruins can get 100 points by the end of March. Right. So,
but you could win 81, Kevin. God.
Salt of the East time. With it being pretty much halfway to the playoffs, we're going to do a little half-season review now, and we're going to see who we have our playoff teams in both the East and the West. Obviously, with this being the salty old East, we'll talk about who our playoff teams are in the East first. We're going to let Kev kick it off.
All right, let's go. In the Atlantic Division, we got Boston, Toronto, and Tampa leading the way. And as of right now, there are no Atlantic teams in the wild card. So...
You think it's going to stay the way it is?
I really do. I really don't see Florida making that push, and I'm expecting Florida to be strategic sellers at this year's deadline.
You are? Try to get back some of their future that they sold off? I don't think so.
I don't think their future, but it's going to be more of creating some cap space. Expect a guy like Sam Bennett to be on his way out.
You do?
I do.
I don't. I think he's one of the major reasons that Tocchet wanted to go there. I think you're wrong.
Maybe on his way out there.
I think they're dumb. I don't think they sell at all. But you can think your thing. You can think your thoughts to think about thinking. Who do you have in the Metro?
In the Metro, we have Carolina leading the way, with New Jersey sitting a point behind, and the Rangers sitting 5. And then down the wild card, we have Washington and Pittsburgh. The old farts in Pittsburgh.
So you think it's going to go just like that, huh?
I really do.
You see no movement at all.
I know. I can see Washington getting into the top 3, but I'm saying I see 5 Metro teams making it. I don't see a Florida, Buffalo, Detroit making a push and getting into a wild card.
Okay. No, I don't. I mean, it's tough to argue.
Islanders,
Yeah.
fucking phonies, man. Phonies. That bet's gonna hit, and I'm gonna be rich when they miss the playoffs, and I get all my money.
Who do you have, Connor?
So I think the Atlantic Division is already wrapped up. You can sign, seal, and deliver. You're going to see Boston, Toronto, Tampa in this order at the end of the year. If you argue,
I'm putting Tampa over Toronto. They have 2 games in hand.
Yeah, I don't. I have more faith in Toronto's young guns than Tampa, to be honest with you.
I don't. Yeah, we'll see. I have Toronto too. I'm looking at them 2 games in hand.
As far as the Metropolitan, I think Carolina is the best team currently. I think the New York Rangers have the potential to be better. I think they're going to flip-flop with New Jersey, and they're going to finish second. And I'm torn on the next one. I think that the New Jersey Devils could potentially come in third, but I'm split with them coming in third or in the first wild card spot between them and Washington. Personally, Washington's getting healthy. They're getting some really important players back. I think they're going to make a push. They're probably going to look to add some significant talent at the trade deadline. So I think that as far as the Metro goes, you're just going to see the flip-flop of the Rangers coming over the Devils in second. And then depending on a trade deadline, I think Washington could be your third in the Metro, and you'd see New Jersey and Pittsburgh in the wild card. Which that would mean that you have Bruins Devils first round.
Which I adore. I absolutely adore that.
I would much rather have Bruins Devils than Bruins Capitals.
Big, yeah. There's Alex Ovechkin doesn't play for the Devils. Man, yeah. That's just a fact. I mean, like Jack Hughes is dynamic, very dynamic.
So do you think that Hughes is a better star at this point, more star power than Alex Ovechkin? Is that what you're saying?
He's more dynamic, but in the playoffs, absolutely not. When the going gets tough, Ovechkin is tough as shit.
Yeah.
That's just I don't know. Out of all of the superstars in the NHL, Ovechkin's the most made for the playoffs.
Yeah, and right? I personally think
he's a monster.
If you're the Bruins, and this may sound really stupid, but I think you would rather play New Jersey in the first round than a Washington. Washington is bigger, tougher, a lot more experience.
Slow, though.
And New Jersey is a complete wild card with a question mark in goal still.
Yeah, you can't argue that.
No, actually, so you have the Jersey falling all the way to the last spot? You think they'll fall below Pittsburgh?
No, he said first wild card.
Oh, no. Fourth.
Or yeah, last. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Pittsburgh last. I would, to be honest, I'd rather play New Jersey than any team in the playoffs from the East because they're young and experienced, physical, and they won't beat the Bruins in the playoff series. And that, I mean, that's like
I know, man. Eric Holla, man.
Yeah, Holla. And New Jersey's good. They're going to be good for years to come. They're not ready yet. It takes going to the playoffs and losing a few times before you can. I mean, Tampa can tell you, Washington can tell you, Boston can tell you.
Yeah, because I mean, if you think about the Pittsburgh Penguins, right? Like everybody says, oh yeah, they're old, whatever. But look at the team: Jeff Carter, Evgeny Malkin, Sidney Crosby, Ricard Raquel. Jake Gensel.
They're going to be playing very good in the playoffs.
It'll be like the 2012 LA Kings. Like they could be the 8th team in
and win the cup.
All they need is one of their goalies who are both pretty good to get on a little streak, a little hot streak. That's it.
Yeah.
They'll be dangerous. They have a lot of talent.
Yeah. I mean, I look at that whole Metropolitan Division and I think the most dynamic, best player in it right now is Jack Hughes. He's the superstar of all those teams I fear the least in the playoffs. Right? Like, I mean, he's a regular season superstar right now. No question. But it's just the game gets so tight and the refs stop calling clutching and grabs. They stop calling elbows. They stop calling trips for game 5, 6, and 7. Good luck, Jack. It's going to get tough. You know what I mean? So it's just, they're a good team. For me, I changed it up a little bit. I want to just not copy exactly what you had pretty much. But so in the Atlantic, I'm going to go Boston, Tampa, Toronto. I think Tampa, when the season gets a little grittier, they better defense and goaltending than Toronto, so I'm going to go with them over them. Either way, those 3 teams are locked in, playoff teams, playoff juggernauts. Can't wait to watch Toronto and Tampa have to beat the shit out of each other in the first round. Other side, I'm going Carolina, Rangers, Devils, Washington, Pittsburgh. I'm just going to flip the Rangers and the Devils. I think the Devils will keep they have a decent little lead there. Like over Pitt, they have 11 points over Pittsburgh. So I think they should be able to hold it off if they just keep playing the way they are. The Capitals are going to make a push, though. They're getting healthier Tom Wilson and Nick Backstrom are their deadline acquisitions at this point. That are pretty good.
And they're still waiting for Carlson to come back after he lost his ear.
Yeah. Like the 3 of us, I wish I had that notebook. I'm on a new notebook, but we all, I think, had Washington missing the playoffs, and all 3 of us were wrong. Everyone did, right? They survived. We thought the Bruins wouldn't survive having their stars out. They survived. Yeah. It proved that veteran teams figure it out and they find ways to win.
Yep.
We forgot that the Bruins still had Pasta. We forgot that the Capitals still had Ovechkin. And those stars are still going to score lots of goals. And they have a Kuznetsov, and we had a Bergeron. And it was like, there was still, obviously the Bruins are in a much better situation without Marchand and McAvoy, but still.
And Grzelcyk. Yeah.
Teams with stars just figure it out, man. They figure it out. Yep. It's crazy because the East is so much better than the West. And we almost hit all of our East topics, just talking about this. Only thing else we have is Josh Norris is going to be returning to the Sens, which should give them a boost. But the issue is the Sens are the most underperforming team in the NHL this year for how the it factor we were talking about that they had coming into the season. It just wasn't enough. I actually think, Connor, you were the one who said you didn't think those guys gave them enough wins. I think Kevin and I were kind of more at the start leaning into Ottawa. I don't know if you're usually the skeptical one. I don't think you believed into the hype.
I did not.
Kev, you did, right? I know I did. Yeah, I thought they were going to be a playoff team.
Dude, you look at their top 6 and it's like that star study. You have veterans now mixed in with young guys. Like a lot of talent was in there. So
I'm not like super high on Timmy Stützle in Ottawa, personally. That's why, I'm super torn. Brady Tkachuk is one of my guys, but
Brady's a beast.
Everybody's expecting a lot out of Timmy Stützle, and I'm just very.
What do you just? I mean, I know you're saying that, but Stützle has 40 points in 39 games, right?
Yeah,
19 goals.
He has 19 goals, 21 assists. He's actually more point. He's a point per game, and Brady's not.
Go watch him.
No, I've watched that. I know he plays a lot of outside hockey. He doesn't really get in as much. I know. I've watched a good amount of their games this year. And
he doesn't pass my eye test, personally.
A huge disappointment for me is, and it's crazy because DeBrinket's doing great, right? 14 goals, 24 assists, 38 points, 43 games. He's minus 16. He's a disappointment. He's a disappointment to me. But, guys need to relearn how to play hockey without the most dynamic American ever to play the game on their side. You have to relearn how to play without Kane. And that's just a fact. We saw Panarin have to do it. Yep. And Panarin did it. And I think DeBrinket will do it. But the Patrick Kane effect can't be forgotten. It just can't. It's like the Pasternak effect. Whoever you put him with gets a shit ton of points because they just generate. And that's kind of it for the East. Do you guys have anything else on that? The East is still open, but not wide open. Things are starting to close. Every week it gets a little more closed as those veteran teams just pull away or lock themselves in.
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning of the year, it was quite obvious that the Eastern Conference is where a lot of the star talent went in the offseason, and we've seen a lot of the star talent be very disappointing.
Because it's tougher. It's tougher. When you have to play Boston, Tampa, and Toronto more times, they're learning hey, it's not like going and playing Anaheim. It's not like going and playing San Jose.
Even teams
Detroit is good.
Yeah.
Montreal, good.
Montreal's getting butchered in the standings, but
yeah, and they can still beat you on any night.
Even look at another team who brought in some higher end players. Columbus Blue Jackets are getting absolutely gutted in the standings.
We knew that was going to happen. We did call that one.
Well, to some degree, yeah.
We didn't think they were going to be this bad. We thought they would be able to generate goals, but didn't go that way. It's been a
Nope.
little while.
My new favorite conference.
New favorite conference, the Wild Wild West. What do just kind of looking through here? We're gonna get the West up in front of us. We're gonna do the same thing. Kev, you want to lead us off, buddy?
All right, so I'm just gonna cover the current standings right now. We got Winnipeg, Dallas, Minnesota in the Central. We got Vegas, Seattle, and LA in the Pacific, with Edmonton and Calgary in the wild card. The West is going to change. That's my base thing. The West is so close right now with these teams that there's no way it stays this way. Right now, you have Winnipeg and Dallas have the same amount of points. Winnipeg has a game in hand. So for me, like starting the Central, I think it's going to be Dallas, Winnipeg, Minnesota. I think those three are going to stay in there. I just don't think the order is going to be. I feel like Dallas is going to figure it out. They're going to win. Winnipeg's good. I feel like Winnipeg, if they make some deals to shore up their third line and get a little more grittier, and when their defense gets healthy, they have a couple guys coming back soon. I think Winnipeg's going to be really good. But I think they're going to finish second in the Central with Dallas pulling that off. And Minnesota, they're going to be scrappy, but they're going to stay in third. Moving on to the Pacific, I'm probably going to go hot take right here, baby. Seattle. I'm rocking Seattle. As my number one. Let's go. I'm on the Seattle train. I think Vegas.
He is a crackhead at heart.
I'm a crackhead right now. Let's go. I'm all about it. I think Vegas is going to second. I think that Mark Stone recent injury is really going to do some damage out there, especially since it's back again. So he's probably going to be out for a little bit. Maybe we don't really know. They're still evaluating that. I just don't trust it enough. So I'm going Vegas second. And I think the Kings were going to pull off, and they're going to stay in third just like they did last season. But the wild card is where it gets interesting. I don't think Calgary is going to make it. Colorado is going to pull up, and they're going to get a wild card spot. And I think McDavid is going to propel them. Edmonton there to stay. I think Colorado will probably take the first wild card, Edmonton the second. Calgary misses the playoffs. And you heard it here first from Kevin.
They just might. They just might. Connor, give us yours.
Okay. So
good analysis, Kev. Really good analysis, buddy.
Kevin picked Dallas, Winnipeg, Minnesota in the Central. I'm sorry for his terrible decisions, but there's no other choice than the Winnipeg Jets to win the Central Division. Rick Bowness is my fucking guy.
I put it in the notes, too. I said Connor's guy.
Rick Bowness for Jack Adams. I'm going to start it now. I'm going to start tweeting it and hashtagging it and make people.
So, like, I think he's had the same impact on them that Monty's had in the Bruins. It's just Monty's story's better. He's going to win the award.
Fair.
It is what it is.
But you never know.
No.
Things could change. Like, if Winnipeg goes on and keeps being more impressive than they are right now, like if they were to add something at the deadline and be even better through the end of the year, they're going to make it super interesting. Either way, I think that the Bruins have a way better team when it comes to the Jack Adams. So I think that should detract from Montgomery.
Much better team.
But whatever. In second place in the Central Division, none other than the Dallas Stars. Third, the Colorado Avalanche. Colorado is not going to go down quiet. They are going to make significant additions at the trade deadline. You can almost guarantee it. So I think that's going to buy them a lot of extra points in the standings. And of course, with players getting healthy, getting in a rhythm, playing where they're supposed to be slotted, I think that's going to buy them a lot of points. Get them into third, get them out of the wild card. No sweat off the brow. Everybody relax in Colorado. For the Pacific Division, Kevin, goddammit, you're right. I'm a crackhead too. Seattle Kraken in first place.
Let's go, baby.
I was a doubter. And
Me too.
I know that I've
We
seen a
all
lot
were.
of people in the Seattle Kraken, Twitter and Facebook groups that absolutely hate it when you compare them to the Vegas expansion. But I am sorry.
They're super comparable.
You are super comparable. You had the same draft rules.
What do you just say? They had the same set of everything.
And you were horrible in your first year. Obviously, they got some benefit of having no cap space in the league their second year. They got Oliver Bjorkstrand for a song. They were able to sign a bunch of other players this year, surely because they didn't have anywhere else to go. And they had Shane Wright drop you at 4th overall, the assumed number 1 overall pick for
and Matt
future.
Beniers. Like they just got people now.
And then Matty Beniers comes out of college absolutely firing.
Yeah.
We'll get more into the Kraken after this.
And then, of course, Martin Jones comes back from Davy Jones's fucking locker.
Yeah, I don't get that. I watched that game the other day against the Bruins, and I watched him, and I was puzzled. If you could see my face watching him make saves, I was like, this guy, because I don't watch a lot of Kraken games, to be honest. I was this cat's good now. I was like, what is going on?
Dude. So here's the weirdest thing. He has like a .898 save percentage.
Both of their goalies are sub 900.
So they're not
going.
I know.
But then he has a 2.6 GAA. Like, it's weird. It's the weirdest thing.
So he does still suck. That makes sense. Like he just play good in front of him.
But he's like a 25-2 record or something. So that's my thing. With this whole team, it's not just a one-guy team. Like, not a single guy on their team has 40 points yet. It's a whole spread-out team, and it's a team effort, and that's what I love about the Kraken. Every single guy has contributed. They have over 19 people that have scored a goal. They're playing defense. They're doing it all. It's a team effort, and they love it, and I love it. Let's go Kraken, baby.
Connor, give us your next team.
We'll see you at the Winter Classic.
Give us your next teams.
My next team, I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Kings. They're currently in 3rd. I'm going to bump them up to 2. I think they're going to have a trade deadline, a good one. They've got a lot of prospects.
Their clock's also ticking on their veterans, so they want to get them a win.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's the same, looking at a Tampa or a Boston who's looking maybe even a Pittsburgh in that respect. But I think they're going to have a pretty big trade deadline. I think that they're going to win out in the Jacob Chychrun saga. I think you're going to see him land in LA.
You think they're going to trade Quentin Byfield for him?
No.
You're
going to see a B tier prospect and a first round pick, I would assume, plus.
They could even go like A- tier. They could go like Alex Turcotte. They could go something like that. They have a ton of guys.
They have so much talent. It's insane. And then 3rd, I'm going to wrap them up, and I'm going to say Vegas hangs in 3rd. I think that Logan Thompson has the ability to be consistent
he's good
with his greatness thus far. The one question mark is going to be Jack Eichel. With Mark Stone being out, you're going to need a lot more from Jack Eichel, who, since coming back from the injury, has still had a little bit of issues on the health side of things. So, A, can he be relied upon to be there? And B, can he put up the production that's going to be needed to propel this team? Can he lead this team to the playoffs? That I don't know. We're gonna have to find out.
Yeah, he's only played 32 games this year. He has 33 points. When he's playing, he's elite, but he is.
And how does that translate in the playoffs? We don't know.
Yeah, we've never seen it. He's still a step behind pre-injury Jack, but I think he
hasn't had the time to get back and
I agree.
get into a rhythm.
I agree completely. I know.
Now
you need playoff Kessel down there. Good.
Yeah, hot dog Phil.
For my wild card, we're getting wild.
Oh shit!
The Minnesota Wild is going to take the first wild card spot since
he hates Edmonton. It's going to be Calgary. He hates Edmonton.
Nope.
Okay.
St. Louis.
The Nashville Predators.
Oh, that's a tough take there, bud.
That is a tough take, but they have the talent. They have the depth, talent throughout the roster. I think that overall they have Saros and net. they have a really good defensive core still, as long as they don't blow up another big defenseman off the team.
They've played
got a
two
really solid core top 9.
If they win their next 2 games, they're only going to be a point behind the other wildcard teams. They are still in the race,
and they've got games in hand.
That's what I said. They have 2 games in hand. That's what I mean. Like they're more in the race than my giggles made seem.
But it's like all their players are having down years.
Yeah, I know. It really would be great if they had somebody like Eli Tolvanen to call up, huh?
Yeah, it's weird. Like for a team who couldn't score
Don't get me
goals,
started on Tolvanen.
Guy who couldn't score goals. They like a team that is having trouble scoring goals gets rid of a pure goal scorer, a guy who's just a pure shooter, and he's doing that successfully in Seattle.
Oh, it's not T-Boy. He already has like 5 goals in Seattle.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
My picks for the West, I'm going in the Central, Dallas 1. I am going Winnipeg 2. Dallas, I just think, is the best team over there, offensive talent-wise. Winnipeg could also win that division. I kind of have that as a toss-up. That might come down to the last 2 games.
I mean, you have to pick the Stars number 1, right? I mean, Jamie Benn's not going to go down.
No, I don't think he'll go down. And that's the thing. It's like if he won't go down, then they should stay up. I think 3rd, I have Colorado. I just don't see how Colorado doesn't push
If you know,
forward.
you know.
Yeah, if you know, you know. The other side, I'm going to go Bruce Cassidy, number 1.
Oh, no Kraken slander here.
I'm going to go Seattle. I'm not even going Seattle 2. I'm going LA, number 2. I'm going Seattle 3. I really agree that LA is going to have a huge trade deadline. I really like LA. I've always liked LA, so I'm not going to change back now. Wild card, I am going Minnesota in the 1st and Edmonton in the last. I just have this weird feeling that the game script will be messed with if there's even a chance that Connor's not going to be in the playoffs. They won't know what to do. Gary will start like pulling strings. We'll see like car crashes, buses won't get to where they need to go, and Edmonton will make the playoffs. So the thing is with Edmonton is I kind of want them to make the playoffs and lose in the first round so they can blow this team up. Edmonton and Calgary, I think they did like what they needed to do, what everyone was telling them they needed to do, and it didn't work. So like, I don't know. Like, I don't think that, like, you have Connor and you have Leon. You guys should be dominating, but you're not because the surrounding pieces just can't make it work. And I don't know, like one guy cannot, and I agree with this, like one player in the NHL just can't make a team a winning team. You have to have the right guys around him. Like Wayne Gretzky was the best player of all time, but he played with Jari Kurri. He played with Mark Messier. He played with other legendary players. And that's how these teams found that success. And they were built heavy and they were built strong. Edmonton's not that way. I just don't know that, like, I just don't think they have the right mix. But I do think they make the playoffs. I just want to round this back around now that we went through both sides. And we'll just, you don't even have to give any explanation because we have a good amount of topics to still go through if you want. But Connor, I want your 2 Stanley Cup teams. Who is your Stanley Cup final?
I think the Stanley Cup final is going to come down to Boston versus Seattle. That would be fucking electric.
I'd be so happy because I'd be just getting ready for my Stanley Cup parade. I'd be so happy if we got that. That's a dream. They're good, and they just beat the Bruins 4-0, but I would like that. Kev, who do you have?
I'm going Boston and Boston and Dallas.
All right. I like that too. I think I actually think both those situations very much could happen. I'm going Boston, and it's funny because like I talk shit about them and I move them down, but I think I'm going to go Boston and Winnipeg. I think Winnipeg is well coached, veteran team.
Whoa!
I think they play heavy.
Well coached.
I think they have great goaltending. And if it's not them, it's Colorado to me. So it's going to be Winnipeg or Colorado against the Bruins in the Stanley Cup. The Bruins beat Winnipeg. I think they lose if they have to play Colorado. Matchup wise. I really do. I mean, I don't know. We all picked the Bruins, right? And we're all slanted that way, but I think we could say that's an unbiased decision because I think most people have the Bruins coming out of the East right now. Like, as much as we are biased, it's pretty good. I actually hate the match. There's two teams that I hate the Bruins matched up against. And as much as I think they could beat the Leafs, I hate the matchup with the Leafs, just the way they fit. And I hate the matchup with Colorado.
The worst matchup.
I think the Bruins can get under the Rangers' skin. And like the players on that team and the fans all tweak out. And I think the Bruins can play mental warfare. I think Brad Marchand can beat the Rangers.
The Rangers' defense on top of Shesterkin,
they are good.
They are too big, too physical, and they are very good defensively. And they have an absolute nutbag in goal.
The issue
in a good way, nutbag.
I think that they'll have to get through Washington or Pittsburgh, and that's their house of horrors. So like it's all interesting. This is the best I think hockey's been in so long. There's so much parity, and like I'm so excited for the rest of the season for the playoffs. It's even like sports are in a good place. Look at football. Like look at playoffs in football. Like there's there's 10 teams that could have won it this year, and now there's 8 teams that we could all see winning. I don't think the Giants could win, but everyone else could win a Super Bowl. The NHL is the same way.
If I were to look at the Stanley Cup final and just look at all of the teams who would qualify for the playoffs and say, okay, if all these teams were to play each other, who would I pick in a 7-game series in the Eastern Conference? I think Boston matched up against all 7 other teams in their conference. They win in a 7-game series.
Yeah, in a 7-game series, yeah. Agreed.
And then if I flip over and I look at the Western Conference and I say, all right, in a 7-game series, who would it be? I don't know. That's not as clear. It's way murkier in the Western Conference.
You look because it's like, I think Winnipeg could beat everyone. I think Dallas could beat everyone. I think Colorado could beat everyone. I think Vegas and Seattle could beat everyone.
The way that I look at it is Winnipeg has the depth and the talent at forward and defense, and they have a really solid goaltender. Dallas also has great depth in the forward and defense. Ottinger's a great goaltender. Can he give it to you again like he did last year? Because that's what you're going to need.
Yeah, and if he does, then – but I don't like –
he's still young, so it's a huge toss-up. You're either going to get, Carter Hart in his first 2 years, or you're going to get Jordan Bennington now. It's like the polarization in the young goaltenders is –
I did have something I want to talk about before we get into the rest of things here, just while it's on my head. I'm no longer comfortable paying young goaltenders.
No.
It's proven. Hart, nope, didn't. It hasn't worked. Kyle Peterson didn't work. I'm no longer comfortable paying young goaltenders. I'm not comfortable paying any goaltenders on contracts more than 3 years because they're different every single year. These goalies are not Tuukka Rask. Tuukka Rask was the picture of consistency. He did it for so long. Ullmark last year compared to Ullmark this year are 2 different players.
Mm-hmm.
That's scary. Like that's just how it goes with goalies.
Look at Sergei Bobrovsky.
Correct. Another guy.
He's like Jekyll and Hyde.
I'm just not comfortable paying goaltenders more than $5.5 million ever again. Like I really, that's how I feel. Swayman's now top 10. He's moving himself up in every category. He's playing great. I ain't giving Swayman $4 million.
No,
not like Swayman
can't even afford it.
He can have 3. I think I like Swayman.
Can't even afford it.
2.7. It's just that no paying goalies. That was my rant. I thought about it in my car at home, and I wanted to say no.
I'm working on an article for that. I was gonna get it out last week and just got swamped over the weekend with shit, so I never got to it. But I will have an article at some point. I'll probably work on it tomorrow about Swayman and a contract, and I have a lot of his comparables and what that looks like. And to be honest with you, he's not in the conversation with a lot of those people, like Ottinger, Ville Husso. Who else is in that realm that's young?
Spencer Knight.
Spencer Knight. Yeah, he's around $4 million.
I would take Sway over Spencer Knight, though.
I would. However,
not at the money.
Do you want to pay him $4.75?
No, you can't. You just can't. The Bruins have built themselves up to not pay him that much. So but I don't think he doesn't seem the type of guy who's going to be an issue.
The Bruins need to ride Ullmark as much as they can.
Yeah.
To help themselves in contract negotiations with Swayman.
Of course they do. Let's get off Bruins again, but Kev, this is 100% your topic here, buddy. Matt Boldy extension. How do you feel about it?
Oh, I'm loving it. 7 years, $7 million. Keeping him out there in Minnesota with my
2 years
boy.
from now, whew,
That's gonna be
bargain.
stupid. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's gonna be a 30-goal scorer. Him and Kaprizov are gonna be running shit with Matt Zuccarello
Yeah.
He
and
should be
that team.
retired by then.
No,
He's old. He's in his late
no,
30s.
no. This will keep him
He's
going
like
in
30,
2 years.
37, I
No,
think.
that's Krill's boy. Like, no,
One
I like it. I'm happy.
I want to end with a little rumor, boys. So,
We'll wrap it up.
Connor Bedard watch, Kev. What do you have there on that?
Still same teams: Arizona, Chicago. Columbus is sneaking in there because they suck so much. Yeah, I don't really know.
Anaheim.
Anaheim. I would love Anaheim. That's a good one. But yeah, the more you suck, the more you can have the best player. But besides that, really, Evander Kane making his return tonight.
Yes. Yep.
That's kind of
Evander
big.
Kane, Tuesday, January 17th.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much we already touched on the Mark Stone back injury earlier.
The one thing before we get into our rumor boys, if you guys want to watch hockey down the stretch, if you guys just want to watch hockey in general, if you want to watch sports in general, insidetherink.com/ESPN. That's our link for you to get ESPN Plus. You get it through us. It helps us. It helps us keep the lights on. It helps Connor's kids eat. I mean, it's super important to us. So insidetherink.com/ESPN. Use that link, get ESPN Plus, watch all your hockey games. Check out our merch, buy our merch. I say it every week. We still haven't updated our merch. We're working on it. Once it's updated, you'll see it. It'll be promoted everywhere. You'll get sick of seeing it. It's going to be everywhere so much. But rumor boys, who wants it? Who wants it?
I'll lay it up for you. Mr. Rick Tocchet is coming back.
Our good friend Rick Tocchet, who took the time to shake our hands and talk to us at the Winter Classic, which I appreciated so much. He stopped whoever his handler was that was moving him to stop and actually take a picture with us and talk, which was awesome. Rick Tocchet's going to be the next head coach of the Vancouver Canucks. It's actually a joke that he's not the coach already because it's being so widely reported. It's so wrong to a veteran coach in Bruce Boudreau for him to still have to go into that freaking building knowing he's about to get axed. It's the wildest thing. You think the team's gonna be like, dude, this guy's our coach for the next week. Come on, Vancouver, just stop.
I was very, very high on Rutherford prior to him being in Vancouver.
Man,
I wanted Cam Neely fired and to bring Rutherford in as the president of hockey ops. And now I am so thankful that didn't happen because everything in Vancouver right now is just falling apart at the seams.
When Kevin Weeks is reporting that it's done, it's done. It's done. What are you doing? Why is Bruce Boudreau still in the building and Rick Tocchet's still working for TNT? It's so awkward. This whole team and then Rutherford.
And not even just that. They're already assembling his staff. Sergei Gonchar is supposed to be one of the assistant coaches.
Yeah. Or go further, it's they're the core players. Some of these core players won't be here soon. It's dude, instead of saying that stuff, why don't you just do it? Because these guys aren't going to want to come to work anymore real soon. You have Quinn Hughes, a guy who's been a media darling his whole career. He said not one bad thing about the shithole team he's on. Coming out and talking against how Tanner Pearson's medical wrist injury, hand injury was handled, saying it was botched. That's bad. It's a real bad look in Vancouver. I think Quinn might be trying to get himself out of there. But it's just crazy. Vancouver's a mess. But Ricky Tocchet's going to the Canucks, and I think we can say book it. You guys agree with that?
I'll buy the ticket himself.
Oh, Kev, you're gonna buy him his ticket?
Yeah, they're gonna have JetBlue flights Hyannis to Vancouver.
Are you really?
Yeah, starting the summer.
Oh, that's cool.
Want to go to Vancouver?
Kind of, yeah. I would actually do that. That'd be kind of fun.
Right.
Do you guys have any other rumors for us? We want to save that for next week. I think next week we're gonna be rumor boy heavy. We're gonna be firing off rumors.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only rumor that I have is I don't know. There might be some stuff to do this summer for the inside the rink folks in another sport. But...
Oh, are you talking about Inside the Diamonds?
Oh, I'm talking about Inside the Diamonds. Inside the Rink's new favorite baseball media outlet.
So you probably won't catch Connor or I doing any content over there. But Kevin, Kevin's going to be out there. Kevin's going to be out there doing his Red Sox stuff.
I'll be
maybe
out
a bunch of leagues. Yeah,
shagging balls, you know.
Yeah, Kev's a big balls guy, so he'll be out there doing his baseball stuff. And you guys give Inside the Diamonds a follow. Check out InsideTheDiamonds.com. And this is pretty much phase 1 of the expansion of the forever plans here. But Inside the Diamonds is going to be a place for you to check out all your baseball news. And if it has great success, we'll let you know. If we end up burning it to the ground, we'll let you know. But Inside the Rink's still your home for all
Inside
the
the Rink is here to stay. Don't you fucking worry.
And stay tuned for Inside the Pitch, our MLS.
Pasta la vista.